Welcome to The Explainer. Right now, as you're sitting there, your body is performing this incredible invisible balancing act just to keep you alive. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this hidden superpower, a process known as homeostasis.
So let's kick things off with something we've all been through, getting a fever. It feels awful, right? But what's actually going on is a total masterclass in your body's control systems kicking into high gear.
Now, you might think a fever means your body is breaking down, but it's actually the complete opposite. It's your body taking control. Your brain intentionally cranks up its internal thermostat. That's the set point you see on the graph. This new, higher target temperature makes you feel cold, so you shiver like crazy to generate heat and match it. Then, once the fight is over, the set point drops back to normal. All of a sudden, you feel super hot and you start sweating to cool down. It's all a deliberate, strategic process.
So how in the world does your body pull all this off? Well, it's all thanks to a super sophisticated command center that runs completely on its own.
Okay, so this system runs on two really key principles. The first one is feedback, which is where your body is constantly monitoring itself and making little adjustments, kind of like the thermostat in your house. But it's actually even smarter than that. It also uses something called feedforward, where it literally anticipates that a change is coming and starts preparing in advance. And when we talk about feedback, there are really two main flavors here. You've got negative feedback, which is by far the most common. Its job is to reverse a change to get you back to normal. And then you have positive feedback, which does the opposite. It amplifies the change, pushing it even further. Just think of negative feedback as your body's ultimate peacemaker. Its entire job is to stop things from going too far in any one direction. The baroreceptor reflex is a perfect example. If your blood pressure suddenly spikes, the system jumps in immediately to bring it back down. It's constantly pushing you back toward that Goldilocks zone where everything is just right.
Positive feedback, on the other hand, is a whole different animal. It's an amplifier. It creates a kind of runaway train effect to get a very specific job done, and done quickly. Now, while it can become a vicious cycle in certain diseases, it's absolutely essential for things like childbirth. One contraction triggers a signal for an even stronger one, which triggers an even stronger one after that, just building and building momentum until the goal is achieved.
But your body's intelligence doesn't even stop there. It can use that feed-forward system we mentioned to anticipate a future need. Think about it. The moment you just decide you're going to start exercising, even before you've taken a single step, what happens? Your heart rate starts to increase. That's your body predicting the need for more oxygen and getting a head start. How cool is that?
Okay, so the command center is sending out all these signals. But where do they go? And what exactly are they controlling? Well, the action takes place on this vast internal battlefield, our body's internal ocean. It's kind of wild to think about, but about 60% of you is just water, and it's split into two main zones. Most of it is tucked away inside your trillions of cells. We call that the intracellular fluid, or ICF. The rest of it is the ocean that all your cells are floating in. That's the extracellular fluid, or ECF, which includes your blood. So keeping the right amount of water in each of these zones is absolutely critical for survival. And when things go wrong, your body has to make some really tough choices about where that precious water is going to go. Let's take a look at what happens. On the left, you've got the normal, happy balance. The red block is the water inside your cells, and the yellow is the water outside. Now check out the right side. During something serious, like a hemorrhage, you lose fluid from that outside space. See how the yellow block shrinks? But notice that the concentration of what's left, the osmolarity, doesn't really change. Your body's priority is to protect the fluid inside the cells at all costs. So how is all this shifting of fluids even possible? Well, it's all because of the true unsung heroes of this story. These tiny, tireless gatekeepers that are on the surface of every single one of your cells. Whoa, okay, this chart looks pretty complex, right? But don't worry. We can basically boil all of this down to just two main categories. You've got passive transport, which doesn't need any energy, and active transport, which definitely does.
And here is the absolute key difference. Passive transport is like skiing downhill. Substances just naturally flow from a high concentration to a low one. No energy required. But active transport? That's like trying to push a giant boulder uphill. It forces stuff to go from a low concentration to a high one. And that requires a ton of cellular energy, which usually comes from a molecule called ATP.
So within that downhill passive transport, some really small molecules, like carbon dioxide, can just slip right through the cell membrane, no problem. That's called simple diffusion.
But others, like glucose, are a little too big to get through by themselves. They need some help. They need a special carrier protein to give them a ride across. We call this facilitated diffusion. It's still downhill, though, so it doesn't cost the cell any energy.
And then you have active transport, the real power lifter of the cell. It uses energy from ATP to literally force molecules where they need to go. This is how your cells can stock up on vital nutrients, even when there's already a lot inside, or how they can pump out waste products. It is absolutely essential for maintaining that delicate balance we've been talking about.
Okay, so let's zoom out. We've met our key players, right? We've got the command center, we've got the internal ocean, and we've got the cellular gatekeepers. So now let's see how they all work together when things get serious.
So let's imagine you're dehydrated. Instantly, your command center reacts. It triggers negative feedback loops that make you feel thirsty. At the same time, fluids begin to shift out from inside your cells to help keep your blood pressure stable. And right there on the front lines, the gatekeepers are working overtime using active transport to keep vital nutrients exactly where they need to be. It's this perfectly coordinated dance, all for survival.
So the big takeaway here is that your body isn't some static machine. It's this dynamic, resilient, and constantly self-correcting system. This whole intricate network of feedback loops, fluid compartments, and cellular transporters is always working, always adjusting to keep you stable in a world that's constantly changing.
And it just makes you wonder, doesn't it? If your body can manage all of this insane complexity without you even having to think about it, what other amazing processes are happening inside you right now? Thanks for joining us for this explainer.